present NASCAR Grand National Racing, the All Pro Auto Parts 300.
This NASCAR Racing Special is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealers. Have you driven a Ford lately? Goodyear Eagle Tires. Goodyear, because there really is a difference.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the heartland of stock car racing, Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Charlotte Motor Speedway is located. We're in the beautiful Speedway Club, high atop this mile-and-a-half facility. Joining me today on the day's broadcast is Hill Overton. I'm Bill Hennessy. We'll be bringing you the action of today's All-Pro Auto Parts 300 NASCAR Busch Grand National Race. It's going to be an exciting event worth $375,000. Hill? Bill, I think it's going to be one of the most exciting races we've ever seen here at Charlotte. A beautiful track, mile-and-a-half in length, 24-degree bank turns. The field, the largest ever for a Busch Grand National event, 44 cars, paced by Harry Gant. And, of course, Harry set a brand-new track record, eclipsing his own mark by almost 1 mile an hour. Look for Harry to be the odds-on favorite. He's won 3 of the last 4 Busch Grand National events. Let's go down to our colleague on pit road, Pat Patterson.
Well, thank you very much, Bill Hennessy and Hill Overton, and we're just about ready to get this one started down on the pit road today. Man that's on the point for this particular race, Harry Gant out of Taylorsville, North Carolina, has won 3 out of the last 4 Busch Grand National events. And Harry, I know that going into this one, you've got to feel very confident about the equipment itself because it's held up for you in the last 3 or 4 races.
Yeah, we hope we have good luck again today. The cars ran awful good last 3 or 4 races, and we hope to do good today.
As far as the track, Harry, last practice you got on it, are you concerned at all about the tires or concerned at all about the racetrack?
Well, they looked pretty good at the Consolation race a while ago. I think everything will be okay as far as tires is concerned.
Okay, that's Harry Gant. He'll start on the point for today's All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Now let's go back upstairs where we're ready to set the grid for today's race.
Well, Harry is very confident. He had a brand new track record speed, 169.710 miles an hour. Bill?
Well, we'll be back with more of the All Pro Auto Parts 300 right after this message from the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Why do over 35 of the world's best engineered performance cars come with Goodyear Eagle street radials exclusively? A major reason is the Goodyear Eagle contact patch, where the car ultimately meets and responds to the road. So it's no coincidence that Goodyear Eagles are the overwhelming choice of the world's best engineered performance cars. Goodyear Eagles, because there really is a difference.
Describe the bees? In more than 35 years of broadcasting Bruins games, I've used every word in the book to describe the action. They have balance. They're bedazzling. Bad. Beloved. Bright. Bandits. Big time. And they're back on Nesson.
The high-powered action of Big East basketball returns to Nesson. Catch live college basketball at its best with Nesson's coverage of Boston College, Syracuse, Villanova, UConn, St. John's, Providence, and Georgetown. A great season of Big East basketball right here on Nesson, your New England sports network. We deliver.
As we return to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the field rolling down pit road. They'll be coming up through the gearbox, warming up those engines and getting up to full song in just a couple of laps. And we're going to meet the field here momentarily as we go down the starting grid. On the first row in the car number 7 with a brand new track record speed, Harry Gant of Taylorsville, North Carolina. Flanking him outside will be the number 15 Levi Garrett car, Jeff Bodine aboard.
Then it comes in row 2, Dale Earnhardt in car number 8. He's flanked by Rusty Wallace in car number 66.
And in row 3, car number 81 driver Bobby Hillin Jr. from Texas. And outside of that row, car 06 in a Ford, Mark Martin.
Starting in row number 4, car number 52, Ken Schrader. And the outside, car number 75, Brad Teague.
Then in row number 5, car number 17 is driven by Darrell Waltrip. Outside, car number 84, Mike Alexander.
In row 6, car number 14, Mike Waltrip. He's flanked by the spring winner here at this race, the 300-mile Winn-Dixie 300, Dale Jarrett in car 32.
And taking a look at row 7, young Rob Moroso in car number 25. He has a victory at Myrtle Beach this year. And, of course, outside of him in number 9, a Ford, Bill Elliott.
In row 8, it's car number 44, Sterling Marlin. He's flanked by car number 97, Morgan Shepherd.
Then in row number 9, car number 21, driven by Larry Pearson. Outside of him, and car number 88, Bobby Laponte.
In row 10 is Ron Cooper in car 56. The outside front row, L.D. Ottinger. The green flag is now out. They're racing down into turn 1.
Where Harry Gant has the lead, but right alongside of him is Jeff Bodine. Bodine in the yellow and white Chevrolet sticks a nose about a foot out in front as they're midway down the back straightaway, 2 by 2 by 2. And now a car making a move down to the inside, and it's going to be 3 wide into 3. That is the Dale Earnhardt machine, number 8.
He's really having to hang on to that car. Going into the third turn, you can see him seesawing the steering wheel and the car fishtailing. 3 drivers this morning were told they would have to start at the back of the pack. The 3 drivers involved in missing the drivers' meeting this morning, Darrell Waltrip being one, Robbie Moroso being one, and we think the third one is Bobby Labonte and the car number 88. Those drivers all qualified in good starting positions, but were relegated to the back of the field due to the fact that they missed the drivers' meeting.
Leader back in the third corner, that is Jeff Bodine. Closing on him is Dale Earnhardt. You see a shot of Darrell Waltrip working his way up through the field from the back.
He's passing young Bobby Hamilton out of Nashville, Tennessee in car number 16, and Waltrip is going to have to charge hard to get back into contention here. This is a split race. We'll be stopping the event at lap 102, allowing everybody to work on the cars for a short period of time, and then we'll be going green again for the final 98 laps of competition.
Already your pole sitter back in third spot. Gant evidently pacing himself a bit early as we see Bodine, then Earnhardt and Gant riding in that order, and dropping off the pace is Brad Teague. Teague slowing down in the food country automobile. He may be headed for pit road.
Well, you never can tell. This early in the race, it could be tires. He could have, oh, we got problems here on the front straightaway. Cars scattering all over the place. A major crash. I see Randy LaJoie in the 71 car. Larry Pearson involved. Brad Teague fortunately had slowed down. That's Jimmy Hensley coming through the melee there.
And I think the big problem with a situation like this is the fact that with all the smoke that comes out, some of the drivers are blinded. They don't know whether they're going to get through cleanly. In fact, they can't see where they're going. They just sort of shut their eyes and pray, but quite a few did not get through unscathed on that one.
Patty Moise limping around now behind the Mike Swain car. There's the 00 Thomas Brothers Country Cured Ham car. Joe Milliken was driving that one. That automobile there we see the rear end of. That is the Morgan Shepherd car. And I believe that was triggered when something happened to Morgan Shepherd here coming to the start-finish line, and he got rear-ended by the 00 car, which went into the wall. That, of course, driven by Joe Milliken, who has not been in competition in several years.
Well, Joe was feeling as though he was getting back into racing shape after running a good number of laps in practice here for this one. But, yes, he has been rather inactive for a while. Years ago, Joe was an operator in the Richard Petty shop. Here's a slow-mo, Bill.
On the replay there, we see that the Morgan Shepherd car has already been taking a hard lick. Everybody taking evasive action, trying to get by. There goes Darrell Waltrip through, right down here in the bottom of the screen. And everyone running over debris, smoke clouding up the entire front straightaway here, causing visibility problems. I'm surprised that we don't. Another angle here. There's the Milliken 00, 34 Jimmy Spencer here involved. Randy LaJoie on 71, Tommy Ellis getting by. Tommy Houston on 6 getting by. Bobby Hamilton coming on the pit lane here. Brad Teague coming through. Kyle Petty in the Peak Antifreeze car coming by. Jimmy Hensley there. And the 77 car, young Dave Simpson out of California, his first ever Busch Grand National race.
A major altercation here along the front straightaway. This double dogleg, unusual arrangement at Charlotte, but the fans there treated to probably the most action they'll ever see in one particular event here at Charlotte.
Caution flag is out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll be back with more action right after this message.
Classic Racing presents the golden era of racing. 1-hour volumes of great NASCAR races from the 1950s and 1960s. 2 great races on each volume. Call 1-800-548-1769 now for your own collector's edition. See the last race run on the beach at Daytona in 1958. See the photo finish of the first race ever run on the High Bank Daytona International Speedway. Witness the competitive spirit that was the foundation for one of today's most popular sports. All the legends are here. Joe Weatherly, Curtis Turner, Fred Lorenzen, Fireball Roberts, Ned Jarrett, Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, and more. Ride with these legends in the famed Darlington Southern 500 from 1959. For your own classic edition of the golden era of racing, send check or money order for $29.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to Classic Racing, P.O. Box 7096, Hampton, Virginia 23666. Visa and MasterCard customers for faster service, call 1-800-548-1769.
In January, the Bees are back. Catch the battling Bruins live from Boston Garden in 9 great games featuring Montreal, Buffalo, Washington, and the Islanders. Hockey East excitement explodes on Nesson with live coverage of the best college hockey in the Northeast, featuring the stars of BU, Maine, Northeastern, BC, Providence, and Lowell. College basketball swings into high gear in January with New England college basketball, the Big East, the Big 8, the Pac-10, the SEC, Southwest Conference, CAA, and much, much more. An exciting month of sports continues with quarterfinal and semifinal action of the Tucker Anthony Golf Classic. Plus, hot stove baseball, classic contest from the Red Sox division-winning season. Nesson delivers in January with live boxing, the WWF from Boston Garden, and major indoor lacrosse league. A hot lineup of sports coming in January only on Nesson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hill Overton along with Bill Hennessy. With today's racing action, the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. The field under tow of the caution car at the present time, following an early crash here among a lot of drivers. Many of them have been into the pits. They've checked their tires, checked their cars over, but for some of them, the results of that crash may not show for the next several laps.
You see the automobiles over in the third, now into the fourth corner at a greatly reduced speed, but the pace car pulling down pit road, they won't be at a reduced rate of speed very much longer, as Jeff Bodine will lead the pack off. Single file restart this time as they approach the start-finish line. You hear the engines coming up to full song, the field mostly consisting of V6s, and the green flag waves. We're back racing once again in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 with Bodine, your leader, up into the first corner he goes, past the condominiums here that house Bobby Allison this weekend as he's watching his son Davey in his progress here at the Speedway.
Challenge for second place, Dale Earnhardt's feeling the heat being applied by Harry Gant, who's been on a roll of late in that automobile. Now Earnhardt pulls up on Bodine. These two adversaries come out of turn number 4. Bodine will probably lead this lap back to the stripe, but look at Earnhardt muscle his way up alongside of Jeff Bodine coming into turn 1, and he will take the lead. 79,000 plus people are in attendance here at Charlotte Motor Speedway today, and the battle continues between Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Bodine.
Bodine looked extremely strong in the high groove. He had quite a bit of traction there. He was able to out-accelerate Earnhardt down the chute. But Earnhardt seems to battle back strongly through the third and now into the fourth corners. And watch for him to make a move possibly again down the long double dogleg front straightaway, measuring over 1,900 feet in length. Gant still lurks in third, but Bobby Hillen moves up to challenge him.
Whoa, we almost had a crash there in turn 2 as Bobby Hillen came up and almost got into the rear quarter panel of Harry Gant. Gant went sideways but recovered very well up in the second quarter. As they race through turn 3 now and into turn number 4, Bodine is your leader, followed by Dale Earnhardt, followed by Gant, followed by Hillen, and Rusty Wallace rides in 5th place. That's your top 5 at the present time, all of them Winston Cup drivers. Towards the end of the race today, we're going to be announcing the Goodyear Eagle Driver of the Race Award. And Goodyear will be giving $1,000 to the Grand National Racing Wives Association in that driver's name. Bodine continues to lead. He's gained a little distance and separated himself from Dale Earnhardt by about 20 car lengths now going into turn 3. The car handling like it's riding on a rail, and he runs it through the 4th quarter. But Bodine so far in this event has dominated it and has looked very, very, very strong.
Just had a shot of the massive throng in the infield. A good crowd today for the All Pro Auto Parts 300. And I'm sure we'll see a few more folks than that here tomorrow when we'll be running, of course, the Oakwood Homes 500. Big weekend of racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're glad you tuned in and are a part of it.
Well, I saw the move-over flag being given to Jimmy Spencer, the modified champion, who right now is running minus the hood and front fenders of his car. He looks like a modified out here in competition today at Charlotte. Once again, a shot of young Rick Mast coming through turn number 4 in the bright blue number 22. 4th place at the present time in this race, in case you're wondering, is car number 52, Ken Schrader. Schrader is running in that position in Emma's last race. And Emma, of course, is the name of the car prepared by Robert G. that has won numerous times in Busch Grand National competition. Robert G. says it's won over $1 million. That car's to be retired and be put on a big pole here near Charlotte Motor Speedway to reside there in future years. Dale Earnhardt feels the pressure now of Harry Gant as Gant moves up onto the rear bumper coming into the 1st quarter, dives down to the inside, can't quite pick up the momentum, has to drop back into single file.
I believe that Dale Earnhardt is able to handle lower in the groove than anyone else through the corners, and that's enabled him to stay right where he is. Of course, Jeff Bodine's leading automobile just seems to have the overall speed advantage as well as a good handling chassis.
Aerodynamically, you wouldn't think that the Monte Carlos were as slick as they are, but obviously they are slick race cars, as has been proven by how well they run, both in Winston Cup competition and Busch Grand National Racing.
And now Gant got up inside going into the 1st corner, but had to drop back in line as Earnhardt drove deeper into the turn. Gant able to close up as he feels the draft of Earnhardt down the back chute, right up on the back bumper. We should see an action-packed 3rd corner here, but no, driving in again deeper was Dale Earnhardt. Hood up again on the Rick Mast car. That, of course, is probably the result we're seeing from that smoke that's been trailing.
Crash in turn 1. Randy LaJoie has hit the outside retaining wall. It is reported that he popped a tire on the right front. He slammed into the outside wall. The car is on fire. Randy has the window net down and is getting ready to climb out of that automobile right now.
As smoke and fire pours from that car, we hope that he can come out of there quickly. Field passing by down below. Most of the fire seems to be coming out the right-hand upper side of the windshield area. You see Randy moving around, unfastening the harnesses. There's a lot of harnessing holding these drivers in place, so it takes a while to come out of there.
See the fluid running out from beneath the car. Randy wants to take his time getting out. He doesn't want to step out in front of traffic or have someone behind him run over some debris and come slamming into him. That's a fuel fire. Possibly the fuel line on the car is broken. Randy LaJoie apparently is out, is safe, and is okay.
That's certainly good news, not only to us, but all of the many fans all around the country, because that flame looks serious, but as you can see, it seems to be coming out from underneath the hood.
Here comes the leaders down on pit road. Bill Hennessy and Jeff Bodine will bring the Levi Garris Chevrolet here at Waddell Wilson and crew. Are going to go to work on the right side of the car. Bodine with a good strong run here in the early stages of this race. Dale Earnhardt also on pit road, along with most all of the leaders. Now pitting directly behind Bodine is the number 52 car, which of course is Ken Schrader. A good stop for Bodine, but the NASCAR official is apparently holding him. The NASCAR official is talking to Waddell Wilson. There's a problem here of some sort. Caution flag is out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll be back with more action right after this message.
This is how a Ferrari Testarossa looks on the road. And this is how a Ferrari Testarossa looks to the road, where it ultimately responds through the contact patch of its Goodyear Eagle tires. The exclusive tires chosen by Ferrari for every Testarossa sold in America. Goodyear Eagles, because there really is a difference.
Give me a hot, dusty day any time of year. Give me my favorite Ford and mud up to here, 'cause I love getting dirty. Love getting dirty. Yes, I love getting dirty. So give me rain and puddles in my 4x4. Give me a brand new Ranger and I'll never be bored, 'cause I love getting dirty.
A newly designed Ford Ranger.
Yes, I love getting dirty.
The best-selling compact truck in America is built fun tough.
Start the new year off with exciting sports next week on NESN. Sunday, it's quarterfinal action with Ipswich and North Ball match up in the Tucker Anthony Golf Classic. Then catch the Red Sox in a shootout with the Texas Rangers. Take a trip back to the summer of '88 on Hot Stove Baseball. Monday, Boston Bruins hockey. Be there as the Bees look to give St. Louis the Blues live from Boston Garden. Tuesday, live excitement from the Big East when the Providence Friars play host to St. John's, followed by Hockey East excitement when the Northeastern Huskies and the BU Terriers tangle from Matthews Arena. Wednesday's a full lineup of college basketball. Live SEC action, Georgia, Kentucky. Villanova and UConn head-to-head in the Big East. And finish the evening with a great regional rivalry, Rice and Houston in the Southwest Conference. Thursday, live hockey from Boston Garden as the Bruins battle the New York Islanders. Friday, Hot Stove Baseball as the Red Sox challenge the Milwaukee Brewers in a classic contest from '88. It's a great lineup of sports on NESN next week. We deliver.
How would I describe the Bees? Well, by hosting the pregame, the postgame, the between periods breaks, as well as Bruins Weekly, I've seen all the highlights. I've seen the Bees at their best. They have bullseye accuracy. They're all business, breathtaking, barbaric, boisterous, baffling. And they're back on NESN.
Well, we're glad to be back with you once again at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hill Overton along with Bill Hennessy. You'll see the light is out, the amber light out on the pace car at Charlotte, meaning we'll go back to racing in just a moment when they round the third and fourth corners and take it back across the start-finish line. Larry Pearson, the car you see down on the inside, meaning he's a lap or more down at this juncture, would like to get back in that lead position, Bill.
Well, the man sitting up there on the point in the 4 car is Andy Petrie. Andy, of course, the crew chief on the Phil Parsons Jackson Brothers car on occasion. He's raced late model stock cars over at the Hickory Speedway. Started a race up at Richmond a few weeks ago, and of course, it crashed up there. But he's back again today in car number 4.
And the green flag waves and dropping, making a move quickly is Larry Pearson. Pearson down to the inside. Andy Petrie dropping back rather rapidly as Pearson.
Look at the man coming to the front there. That's the 66 car. Rusty Wallace blew by everybody, Hill.
The white and green car of Wallace now on the move. It's already pulled ahead of everyone down the back straightaway. There he goes, but Dale Earnhardt in hot pursuit in the second spot.
Rusty is such a bold driver. He took the opportunity to come up through the gears very, very quickly. He used the traffic to his advantage. You would have thought it would have been to his disadvantage to come down on the apron of the track and just come by everybody who was slowly moving through the first corner.
Well, he's great at working traffic, as you all know, but the man who's probably the master of it is in that black and silver car, Dale Earnhardt. No one is better at working traffic in my estimation than he.
Well, these two drivers should put on a real show for us. The 66 car, Rusty Wallace, and the 8 car, Dale Earnhardt. They did it at Darlington in the Winston Cup race, and it was some of the greatest racing I've ever seen. They're here at Charlotte this afternoon. Bill Elliott has a problem on the 9 car. The Wiscasset Mills automobile. They make Nomex and PVI fiber, which is used in fireproof driving uniforms. Bill Elliott's picture inset there. Of course, he's looking forward to another his first Winston Cup championship here in 1988.
And the car very much off the pace. Speculation might be a tire cut down. We'll have to wait and see what develops. Right now developing is Bobby Hillin with a good run today, moving up down inside of Earnhardt as you see Elliott hitting the pits. We'll take a look and see if we can determine what his problem is.
Hillin is getting quite aggressive here as he comes down to the inside of Dale Earnhardt. Hillin's car has a partial sponsorship by Brindle's, but overall this car carries no heavy sponsorship, and he's up and in the groove and takes over second place coming through turn 2. This is his own car, owned by Ted Conder, Felix Sabates, and Bobby Hillin.
The youngster from Midland, Texas now resides right here at the Speedway up in the condominiums located in the first turn. So each lap around, he passes by his home Earnhardt closes it back up a tight third.
Earlier you mentioned that Bobby Allison was up in the condos watching this weekend here at Charlotte, and it is great having him back. The unusual thing is that neither Davey Allison or Donnie made this event, and it speaks for how competitive the Busch Grand National Series is, especially here at Charlotte, where over 65 cars came to this facility. 44 of them started the race today.
And that, I believe, is the greatest number of starters we've ever had for this one. You know, we had the consolation event, which the top 4 finishers gained entry into the All Pro Auto Parts 300 in the challenge race that was held here at 11 o'clock this morning. And, of course, they completed the field to conclude the final 4 starting spots.
We saw Tommy Houston in for right side tires. He's back out. As for Bill Elliott, it appears to be terminal. They're going to push the car behind the wall.
A little bit more than tire problems, as had been the hope earlier. Right now, though, Jeff Bodine on the move as he just makes a pass on the number 42 car of Elton Sawyer. Here's a shot of Jeff, as he'll be a two-way driver this weekend, of course, looking to do battle tomorrow here once again in the Winston Cup event. He's right up on the back bunker of Mike Alexander.
Mike Alexander, another one of those drivers looking forward to winning the Busch Grand National title here. And, of course, Tommy Ellis is in contention. Tommy, the current point leader. And Tommy Ellis has been tough this year all season long.
The Richmond, Virginia driver, Ellis, has certainly been strong, as you say. He's a fiery driver. He's the type of guy that likes to get out and run hard. He's definitely not a stroker, and sometimes you think when the man gets out in the lead late in the season in the points that stroking is the best move, but look what he did down at Martinsville Speedway recently when he was right up there banging some fenders. He did not stroke in that one to try and protect that points lead.
Tight battle up front. Rusty Wallace on 66, 81, Bobby Hill and Dale Earnhardt in 8, and Kenny Schrader and Emma, car number 52, rides in 4th place.
That's the car that we were talking about earlier. Would like nothing better, I'm sure, would Emma, than to close out with a victory here. Darrell Waltrip had brought her home a winner several times, I believe, here at the Speedway and other tracks as well. And the car in a very nice, challenging 3rd spot with Earnhardt back in 4th as they motor into the 1st corner with Wallace still on the point, being followed by young Bobby Hillin Jr.
Emma rides in 3rd place, the 52 car prepared by Robert G., being wheeled by Kenny Schrader this afternoon. That car, of course, one of the old Chevy Novas, and it has been strong in its entire career. Running right up there, right behind Hillen now. Coming up on the rear heels, diving down over to the inside. Doesn't have quite enough power to sweep up under Hillen. The top trio of cars, all regular Winston Cup runners, followed by Earnhardt.
And Bobby Hillen takes the yellow and white number 81 mount down to the bottom side. I thought for a moment he was going to get inside of Wallace and challenge for the lead, but he drops back behind a bit as we have a draft being set up. Moving into that 1st corner as Emma, with Ken Schrader aboard, moves up into that 2nd spot. Hillen suddenly finds himself in 3rd, and on the charge down low off of 4 is the car driven by Schrader, and Schrader's door-to-door as they head for 1, Bill.
Look at that very loose line that Rusty Wallace took approaching the corner there. He didn't want to bind the car up. Schrader was able to get in front of him because he took that wide line and used up more racetrack. Well, the car really is handling for Kenny Schrader this afternoon. As they head down the back straightaway, the Robert G. car is out in front.
Racing continues here as they work off the 4th corner. The pair of white automobiles and the yellow caution flag waves in the hands of the starter. We'll have to check and see what brought this flag out here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, guys, this is where it all gets put to rest. You got all the leaders coming in. Where's Dale Earnhardt's pit? Earnhardt brings his Chevy Goodrich-sponsored machine in. They're going to work on the left side of the car. The pit stops are also important. Now, Earnhardt has come in running in the 4th position. The question is, can this crew get him back out and improve that position? Right in front is Bobby Hillen, which was also in front of Earnhardt. But Earnhardt's going to get the jump as he's down and away before Hillen could get finished. The Tony Uri crew had him in and out very, very quickly here while the yellow was out. We'll be back with more exciting racing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway right after this message.
Listen to an American original.
Sing your song, sweet music man.
Listen to Kenny Rogers.
But nobody sings.
Here's a great new Lifetime music collection. Sweet Music Man. The biggest hits of America's favorite entertainer, Kenny Rogers.
Lady,
36 very special songs.
And she
This collection is not sold in stores. Sweet Music Man is truly the best of Kenny Rogers.
You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. Don't take your love to
Use your credit card and call 1-800-922-4400 or send $19.95 for LPs or cassettes, $24.95 for CDs, plus $4 shipping to Kenny Rogers, P.O. Box 2001-SC, Murray Hill Station, New York, New York.
All the thrills of college basketball are here on your New England Sports Network. Stay with Nesson this season for live and exclusive coverage featuring New England college basketball with perennial powerhouse Northeastern and Mike Jarvis's BU Terriers. The Big East with the BC Eagles, led by Dana Barros and outstanding prospect Brian Edwards. Plus, Providence, UConn, Syracuse, and Georgetown. SEC excitement with top-ranked Florida and Tennessee. The Pac-10 featuring Oregon State and UCLA. Plus the Southwest Conference, the Big Eight, the CAA, and more. It's a great season of college basketball with over 100 games, and it's here on Nesson, your New England sports network where we deliver.
Well, the debris has been cleaned up here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're set to go back to green flag racing. Bill Overton along with Bill Hennessy for today's exciting All-Pro Auto Parts 300 Busch Grand National race from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, Fenton, Missouri native Ken Schrader continues in the lead in that car number 52. They're over in the fourth turn now, getting set to go back to battle with the high banks of Charlotte, Rick Mast. A lap or more down on the inside in the blue number 22. Rusty Wallace trails in second as the green flag flies. And you'll see them streak past the fence here at the start-finish line. A good close shot at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Very strong protective cable being shown there, too, as the field roars off into the south end of the speedway. Mast is able to streak out front along with Mark Martin in the 06 Ford. Those two cars are down a lap, but they're able to get back around the leader at this juncture, who still remains Ken Schrader down the back chute and end of three.
So far, it's been a GM day as we see Dale Earnhardt right up beside Rusty Wallace. Now, Schrader will make it a trio of cars, and he almost gets forced over into the grass to the first of the two double dog legs as he ran up behind Rick Mast. Look at Dale Jarrett come up there with Rusty Wallace as they run in third and second place at the present time. Schrader now to the inside racing hard with Mark Martin, who is trying to get back into the lead lap before the halfway point.
Close quarter racing here down the backstretch of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Wallace takes them three wide into three. Shows a lot of acceleration and slides up the banking a bit. I thought for a moment there that Schrader was going to get down inside of him, but he elects to fall in line as the field attacks the double dogleg front straightaway and headed off toward that first corner with a roar once more.
Once again, I have to say that Rusty is showing a lot of aggression, but a lot of finesse in getting by Kenny Schrader going into turn three there. He had to be absolutely sure of his move in order to get in there and make sure those tires were going to stick, and he was going to be able to turn that car and get it round.
Something's wrong with Harry Gant. Gant way down off the pace in the number 7 Skull Bandit automobile. The green and white colors going away at this point, and hard luck Harry may see that day that he was hoping for go away as we see smoke from Jimmy Spencer, the Modified Stars automobile number 34. Smokes profusely down the back straightaway. That could be curtains for him this afternoon too.
While we were showing you these shots, we had a pass for the lead as Ken Schrader has gone back in front of Rusty Wallace. The Jimmy Spencer car continues to run on the apron minus the hood and the front fenders from the earlier collision, trailing a lot of smoke.
And I'd see some more smoke as he continues around up into the turn number 1 area, goes a lane higher and allowing Mark Martin to move down inside. Does Rick Mast down the back straightaway as Spencer breaks to a halt at his pit. Crew walks around, not too fast though, because they know things are pretty much terminal
at this particular point. Traffic bunching up again in the fourth corner.
Dale Jarrett is now in second place, followed by the Sterling Marlin car. Fourth is the Rusty Wallace mount. And once again, we show you the slow-moving Harry Gant machine as he heads down the pit lane. And obviously, his problems are major.
Well, he'd won 3 out of 4, as we said at the top of the show, going into this event. But it looks like it's not going to be 4 out of 5 after that.
Schrader showing muscle now on the 52 car. He's moved away from the second-place challenger, and he's put Mark Martin that lap back down. We're just beyond the 70-lap mark here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We remind you we'll be stopping the race at a lap 102.
Well, it looks like it will be hard luck Harry once more, as it's not going to be 4 out of 5 for Gant. Let's go down to the pits and Pat Patterson for a word with Harry.
Well, Harry Gant, a long afternoon. I'm real sorry to see you out of it. Sitting on the pole here, and this car's been so dependable for you all afternoon.
Yeah, that's the first problem we had with the car all year, engine. I don't really know what happened. Is it kind of started skipping. Probably broke our rocker arm.
Well, you've had such a good year in it. I know you hate to see it, but you hate to see it end here today, but it has been great for this Ed Whitaker machine.
Yeah, the car was running great. You know, we dropped back on the start and took it easy, saved the tires, followed Earnhardt and Bodine, and we come in, was going to make a run then, and we found we had a flat tire on the car, so we had to go to the rear of the field. And it come up through the pack with no problem at all. They told me on the radio, said you don't need to run any quicker. You'll still get the lead before the halfway mark, so I said, okay.
It's hard to see out of it.
All by his lonesome is Ken Schrader, or at least in racing terminology, that's so. But I got a shot just out of the top of the screen of that Dale Earnhardt car, which is trailing him by some couple of 100 yards or so. But he'll be a factor before it's over with. You can bet on that, as you see a cluster now working the back straightaway as they head down toward 3. Jeff Bodine leading that group.
Bodine, the inside is Dale Jarrett, the outside Rusty Wallace, who is going by. Sterling Marlin there running in 5th place. 6th place is Robbie Moroso. And then he's followed by Michael Waltrip and then Bobby Hillen. And Moroso, for the first time today, has forged himself up near the front of the pack after starting in one of the scratch positions following missing that driver's meeting this morning. And NASCAR said your reprimand is going to be as you'll start at the back of the pack, gentlemen.
We're under green at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll be back with more of the All Pro 300 right after this message.
You're cheating. That's the legendary Hank Williams. And now, assembled here for the first time in one exclusive treasury, are 24 of the most famous country songs ever recorded. This is Immortal Country.
Crazy. She's a good-hearted woman. Counting flowers on the wall. It's knowing that your door is always open.
Immortal Country is only available in this special television offer. 24 original classics on 2 records, 2 cassettes, or 2 8-tracks for only $14.98. Here's how to order.
Have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-982-7900. That's 1-800-982-7900. You can also save COD charges by sending $14.98 for 2 records, 2 cassettes, or 2 8-tracks, plus $3 postage and handling to Immortal Country, P.O. Box 8900-C, Buffalo Grove, Illinois.
The great sport of fishing comes alive each week on Nesson. It's Fishing New England. Join host George Doucette as he explores the various fresh and saltwater areas around New England and take in the beauty of the Northeast that few people ever experience. That's Fishing New England, only on your New England Sports Network, where we deliver. Join Nesson for the fishing thrill Sunday at 5 p.m. The adventure of deep-sea diving. The lure of the unknown. A world of mystery few see. Join Nesson each week for Divers Down. Hosts Mark Stanton and Bob Michelson take you on a journey beneath the waves for diving adventures that will enthrall and captivate you. That's Divers Down here on Nesson each week. See Divers Down Friday at 10:30 p.m.
Once again, we're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hill Overton, Bill Hennessy, along with Pat Patterson in the pits, covering this afternoon's running of the All Pro Auto Parts 300 Busch Grand National Race. Pat will be covering all the action during the intermission, and he'll probably be asking the question of Jeff Bodine, what happened on his first pit stop when NASCAR held him in the pits hill.
That is something I think that had a lot of head scratching here around the Speedway, including that of Waddell Wilson, who couldn't understand why his driver wasn't allowed to get back out when he wanted to. Right now, though, the battle is between his driver, Jeff Bodine, and Rusty Wallace as they scoot down the back chute. Now they move into that third turn. You'll notice that quite a bit of black rubber has been laid down, making about 3 racing lanes wide. So there's a lot of room for passing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Good wide grooves, a nice competitive racetrack as we see those two again. That, of course, the Bodine and Wallace automobiles headed back into the second corner they go.
Schrader is the leader. Bodine is second. Rusty Wallace is running in third place at the present time. Once again, this event being dominated by the Winston Cup contingent.
But we have a long way to go, and it'll be interesting to see if anyone from the Busch Grand National ranks can mount the charge and come on up there and get up in with the top leaders and perhaps make a win of it. But we'll have to wait and see as Sterling Marlin leads the contingent with Robbie Moroso, Dale Jarrett, and Bobby Hillen up toward the first corner as they run single file.
That's your 4th through 7th place battle at the present time. Dale Jarrett, of course, the winner of the spring race, the Winn-Dixie 300. Schrader goes by Steve Grissom in turn 3, working through turn 4 now and coming back to the stripe. And Emma, the car that's to be retired at the end of this season, has completely dominated the first half of this event here at Charlotte.
Enjoying a very comfortable lead still is Ken Schrader. Would like to maintain that throughout. And of course, right now to the halfway point is the first objective, and barring something unforeseen, it looks like he'll do that.
Certainly you don't want to go a lap down now before the halfway point, because you're given the opportunity to refresh the car and get it back out there as they go by L.D. Ottinger. Ottinger now a lap down or so, and the car number 2, Detroit Gaskets entry.
We haven't seen that much of LD in today's race, a rather quiet one for him. He's a Tennessee driver looking for a good finish here today, if not a win. It would appear that good finish is about all he can hope for, because I don't believe the car has been as competitive as LG needs it to be running among the top delegates here.
Schrader would like to win this race before the hometown crowd. As you said earlier, he now resides in nearby Concord, North Carolina, as he comes by the Larry Pearson machine again. Pearson staying out there trying to salvage as many of the Busch Grand National points as he possibly can for a 1989 Chattanooga Chew will send him racing in the Winston Cup Series.
He's had a few attempts this year, but with very little success in the Winston Cup Series. But hopefully that team, led by his famous father, David, and of course brothers Ricky and Eddie, will get it together and go at it stronger next year.
Harold Kinder up in the flag stand as they come by, and we'll be checking with scoring in just a few moments to find out where we are in relationship to the halfway point, which should be coming up. And of course we'll be stopping the cars at that juncture. Ed Barrier now going a lap down to the leader, Schrader. Schrader has really turned this car up. He's turned the wick up, and I really don't know for what reason, because he's just going to halfway and they're going to stop. He's going to relinquish that lead, other than the distance between himself and the second and third place cars. Other than the car may be running very, very well. We're halfway. This is the 100 lap mark. So we'll go around 2 more circuits, and then we'll bring them into the pits, and they'll be stopped, and all the cars will be replenished. They'll be serviced for tires. The driver will be able to climb out if he wishes, get a cold drink of water, or confer with his crew personally. There's so many people listening on the scanners these days, a lot of these guys really don't even want to talk over the two-way radios. And Dale Earnhardt appears to be slowing down now. The yellow is out for the mandatory pit stop. Red flag should be coming out the next circuit by.
I'm wondering about Earnhardt if he slowed too soon. I just have to question if he will lose some positions by doing that when they come back around. Perhaps he thought they were going to stop a lap sooner than they are. Now the pace car has them in tow, and of course the Ken Schrader car, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Bodine automobiles are all following down the pit road rather.
Well, you can't see it on the screen right now, but Dale Earnhardt's pushing the Rusty Wallace car back around to the pits.
Well, they're good friends, both on and off the track. I guess they're two of the closer drivers that we see, and I think that's a real sportsmanlike gesture.
Some of them may have been cutting it very close on the gas mileage situation. Schrader's in. And there's a good crowd shot of 79,100 people. Let's check with Pat Patterson.
Well, it's halftime at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the leader's Kenny Schrader. Car's working real good for you.
Well, it is. You know, but we're only halfway through this race. We got to hold another 150 miles to go, so we'll just have to see what happens.
It's warmed up a little bit out. Has the track got any slicker at all?
No, the track's staying real good. You know, and Goodyear came with the real good tire here, and the cars are just sticking all day. It's going to be a fast last half of the race.
Okay, he's the leader at the midway point.
Well, it would appear that there's going to be very little speculation on Ken Schrader's part as to who's going to win this thing. He's just going to get out and try. Let's go back to Pat and hear from another one of our drivers here in the All-Pro 300.
The penalty early on, I had never heard of the yellow stripe penalty there. What did you hear on the radio about it?
I didn't even ask the crew. That's the second time we've been penalized by NASCAR for a pit violation, according to them. You have a problem getting into the pits. You can see how wide it is from the pit wall to that yellow line. What is it, 15 feet? And when the crew people stand out in their pit waiting for their car to come in, you have to try to dodge them and go around them to get into your pit. And my right side tires were on that yellow line. NASCAR said that's a penalty. I could have run over the fella that was standing out in the pit ahead of me, knocked him over and hurt him to get into my pit, but I chose to stay out, and I guess I had to pay the price.
That's a close call on Jeff Bodine there. We're at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. We'll be back with more in the second half after this message.
Watch out. Strap yourself in. The wildest show on wheels is about to roar into your living room. The United States Hot Rod Association brings you the ultimate home video. Blood, sweat, and gears. Bigfoot takes on the toughest full-blown competition ever. But then he faces his greatest test. It's man versus machine, when Sergeant Slaughter and his battle battalion challenge Bigfoot to an all-out tug of war. So if you want gear-jamming, car-crushing, down and dirty action, get ready for the video event of the year. Blood, sweat, and gears. Get your credit card ready to order your video. Call 1-800-233-2700. That's 1-800-233-2700. Or send check or money order to Blood, Sweat, and Gears, P.O. Box 30179, Bethesda, Maryland, 20814. But hurry, supplies are limited. Order now.
High-powered action of Big East basketball returns to Nesson. Catch live college basketball at its best with Nesson's coverage of Boston College, Syracuse, Villanova, UConn, St. John's, Providence, and Georgetown. A great season of Big East basketball right here on Nesson, your New England sports network. We deliver.
Marshall kept it in. Down low, Emma, goal! David Emma gives Boston College a 6-5 lead. Now poked away by Emma. The Eagles look to break out. 3-on-0 through center ice. Shifley with the puck. Shifley gives it off. Saved by Bradley.
Join your New England sports network for the finest in college hockey as the Boston University Terriers face the Northeastern Huskies. Tuesday, January 3rd at 10 p.m. only on Nesson.
Back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, you see the number 8 Goodwrench Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt on pit road with the hood up.
Dale's got some problems. We understand he may have lost a valve or a lifter or a valve spring. Some problem very similar to what Dale Jarrett had back in the spring race. But he is in the pits, in and out several times now. They're checking on it, and I believe his problems are going to be major.
Field pulling now off the 4th corner. They'll be going through the gearbox and bringing them back up to full song. Harold Kinder looks them over and waves the green flag, and we're away once again in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Ken Schrader, Jeff Bodine lead them off toward the 1st corner as the field bunched up tightly now, but that won't stay that way very long as you're going to see the fast cars go to the front, and Dale Earnhardt still in the pits right side rubber going on as he's losing valuable time. Jeff Bodine in second, Rob Moroso third, and Dale Jarrett in that fourth spot.
Moroso has moved into contention after having start way at the back of the pack. He and Darrell Waltrip, and Moroso riding in third place at the present time, certainly have an excellent run here on a super speedway as Jeff Bodine forges to the lead on car 15, the Levi Garrett Monte Carlo, past Old Emma, car number 52.
Getting the job done in the bottom groove too, Bill, but sticking right there is Schrader, and it's a drag race down the 1,300-foot long back straightaway where they'll make that hard left-hand turn into the 24-degree banking of turn number 4, and Schrader sticks a nose out in front. He gets a high groove bite going into that fourth corner, and now ripping and ranting a bit is Robbie Moroso making his presence felt.
Everybody on fresh tires, and they look strong. Schrader, Bodine, Moroso, Jarrett, Marlin, Hillen, Waltrip, and Waltrip.
A good crew there. A lot of fine driving talent in the field here. The All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Springtime winner of the Winn-Dixie 300. Dale Jarrett was moving up into fourth. Mike Alexander on the charge as he gets inside of Andy Petrie, heading down toward number 3. Sticking well. Whoops, he was sticking well bottom line, and then the car suddenly scoots up about 2 lanes higher.
Andy Petrie, I know how he feels. One of the guys that's behind the scenes. You don't see him that often as a crew chief, and has the opportunity to come out here and race a car, and that's what most of the guys on pit lane want to do. They want to be a driver so bad they can't hardly stand it. And for Andy Petrie, we applaud you for getting a ride here in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 and wish you the best of luck in whatever endeavor you may take up, whether it's behind the scenes or behind the wheel of a race car, Andy.
Well, it certainly has to be an exciting time for him. One of those seldom opportunities for him to run, seldomly exercised opportunities, but here running on the classic track perhaps of them all, it's a thrill, I'm certain.
Hill, towards the end of the race today, we're going to be announcing the Goodyear Eagle Driver of the Race Award. Goodyear will be giving $1,000 to the Grand National Racing Wives Association in that driver's name, and that certainly is an honor, and also to be able to make that contribution.
Well, a most worthwhile award, and we're glad to see this thing happening. Goodyear is to be commended for that.
15 car dives down to the inside. Out of turn 4, there's a battle for the lead among the duo that has led a lot of this event today. That, of course, being, and look, Jeff Bodine has gotten by Ken Schrader, and young Robbie Moroso now is challenging. He is a true Grand National driver, and he's running up there among 3 Winston Cup regulars. And the 25 car, Moroso, is an Oldsmobile. Steve Bird is the crew chief on the car. He won down at Myrtle Beach Speedway on July the 4th when he was 19 years old to become one of the youngest drivers ever in NASCAR.
You know, he's just turned 20, I believe, about a week or so ago now, so he's still got to be one of the youngest ones, although he's finally broken into the 20th decade of his life. And we'll watch him down the back straightaway as he's in a tight third spot as we have a long choo-choo train headed down toward the third corner.
Riding in 5th place is Darrell Waltrip in car number 17. Waltrip has had to fight his way up to the front of the pack. The midway stop helped several drivers. I would say Moroso was a beneficiary, Waltrip a beneficiary, because it kept them in the same lap with the leaders. Even if they were a little off, they were able to stay up there and get the cars serviced and back out there. Now Moroso is surprising me that he is racing this strong with such Winston Cup warriors as Ken Schrader, but he's battling him right down into turn number 3 as he runs up there almost wheel to wheel with him, backs off going into turn 3. Dale Jarrett sticks his nose up there. And look at the high line, made up of Winston Cup regulars right now as they come out of turn 4.
And I think that's working to Rob Moroso's disadvantage at this point, because everyone except himself running the high line, and he's caught down out of the draft just a bit. Reminiscent of Daytona, Talladega, where you see if a car gets out of line, he gets shoved to the back rather quickly, although the draft is not as big a factor here at Charlotte.
Well, the groove is a big factor here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and you had best stay in it if you want the fast line around the racetrack, just as Jeff Bodine is doing, running up a little high through turn 4 now, sweeping out against that turn 4 wall, apexing the inside of the first dog leg, stretching it out just a little bit through the second one, running up into the shadow, staying on the black line of the racetrack, and making the car work efficiently is how you get around this racetrack quickly. Schrader right, in his draft at the present time as he runs on the heels of Jeff Bodine.
Perhaps wanting to go back into the lead is Ken Schrader. Following the draft, let's see if he tries to make a maneuver down the front straightaway where a lot of passing traditionally takes place here at Charlotte, as you have a little more space to do that than you do along the backstretch.
Moroso is trying to get a position back on Darrell Waltrip, who has moved into 4th place. Moroso moves down. The car binds up a little bit, but he carries the momentum by and then pulls up abreast of him again. Now down the back straightaway, it will be a drag race between the two. Look at Michael Waltrip slide right up behind brother Darrell and kind of give him a shove into turn 3.
Well, the Waltrip brothers doing battle a bit here now, although as we said earlier, it was young Michael driving Darrell's car, which is just ahead of him. He went on to a victory at Dover and of course finished 2nd at Darlington in that automobile.
He's had some real good runs, and he's real proud of letting his brother drive that car. For Darrell Waltrip, one of these days I think will probably have his own team in the Winston Cup Series. The leaders pass Tommy Sigmund, the 07 car, the Burke grading entry. That purple car seen in a lot of races this season, but Tommy just hasn't had a season that he can be real proud of. Hasn't been able to take one into victory lane.
And the noose is growing ever tighter for that first position as the two leaders work their way down toward turn number 1 past the exit of pit road and up through the shadow. Still, it's Bodine first, and then a tight second, Kenny Schrader about 3 or 4 feet behind, as you see on your screen as they motor down the back straightaway.
Bodine obviously dialed his car in during the intermission because he and Schrader now are doing what Schrader was doing all by himself prior to the stop at halfway. They're drawing away from everyone else. Now, Darrell Waltrip goes by Michael Waltrip, and he has moved up into 4th place because ahead of them is Dale Jarrett. But that battle for 4th on back is a very heated one. Look at Rusty Wallace working back and forth across the track, trying to figure out who he wants to follow. And we get a crash in turn 4 right in front of our camera location. It's young Dave Simpson in car 77, who had been having a very good run in his maiden voyage here in Busch Grand National competition. He's the point leaders in the American Racing Series open wheel division, which runs prior to the Indy cars. He's crashed. He's not moving in the car, but I hope he's okay. Fluid burning on the track is, of course, fuel that ran out from underneath the car. The yellow on the track, Simpson crashing in turn 4, and problems on the Mike Alexander machine.
Well, you can see the front end of that car extremely used up. The hood has actually blown back and is trailing from the left-hand side of the car, covering the driver's window and the safety screen there. The back end appears to have damage too, as young Mike limping the number 84 car back down the back straightaway. He'll be headed into the pits momentarily.
We didn't catch that on the camera, but what happened was he took evasive action, hit the inside pit wall several times, almost hurdled it, and went down the pit lane to try to stay in the same lap with the leaders if he possibly could. But he's got lots of damage on the 84 car. Simpson is being attended to by the track safety personnel here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. A caution flag is out here at Charlotte. We'll be back with more action right after this message.
Bring the road alive. Have you been in a